The movie begins with a skilled sniper named Drasa, who has been patiently waiting for her target. As soon as the target appears in her scope, she takes the shot, 1 bullet, 1 kill. Afterward, she collects the bullet shell, a ritual she follows after every kill. From here, the scene shifts to Levi. Levi is also a sharpshooter and a former soldier. At this moment, he is summoned to a facility by Miss Barthow, who is impressed by his record, over 200 confirmed kills with a single shot each. His precision is unmatched. After reviewing Levi's report, she recruits him for a top-secret mission. Meanwhile, we return to Drasa, who has traveled to Russia to visit her father. Drasa is a bounty hunter, killing for money, yet she carries deep regret for her actions. Every year, she gives her father the bullet shells from her kills, as if offloading a fraction of her guilt. But her father has grown weary of this cycle, tired of a life filled with loneliness and death. He tells Drasa, "If you are still alive by February 14th next year, I will take my own life that day. No matter where you are, at least say goodbye to me once." Drasa is deeply shaken but says nothing. She leaves, carrying the weight of his words. The mission begins. Levi is transported by helicopter to a remote border between the United States and Russia. His orders are clear: he must remain there for a full year, severed from the outside world. Upon landing, he begins a 3-day journey to his assigned post. Along the way, he meets his predecessor, a senior soldier whose duty has just ended. The man is visibly relieved to be leaving. "You're the first person I've spoken to in a year," the senior tells Levi. He explains Levi's new responsibilities. He must man the East Tower, which represents the US, while the West Tower belongs to Russia. His job is to fire a round from the machine gun at regular intervals. If any tracking devices malfunction, he must repair them. Most importantly, if he ever hears a siren from below, he must run as fast as possible for 4 kilometers without stopping. Levi, puzzled, asks why such extreme measures are necessary. Instead of answering, the senior throws a grenade into the ravine below. The explosion echoes strangely, followed by an eerie, unnatural noise, something alive. This chasm between the East and West Towers is called the Gorge, the senior explains. No one goes down there. Assume that monsters live there. It's our job to stop them from coming up. With that, the senior departs, taken away by a helicopter. But as Levi watches, something horrifying happens. The helicopter crew cuts the senior's safety rope, sending him plummeting into the gorge. Levi realizes the truth: no one who serves here ever returns home. And he is now trapped. An unlikely connection. The days pass. Levi follows his orders, reloading the machine gun, repairing the trackers, reporting back to headquarters. Then, one day, he hears activity from the West Tower. When he looks through his scope, he sees a woman. She is Drasa. Like Levi, she has been stationed to guard the border and eliminate any creatures that emerge from the gorge. Though they are far apart, they are able to see each other. Yet, for months, neither one attempts contact. Then, on her birthday, Drasa decides to break the silence. She fires a shot, deliberately drawing Levi's attention. Holding up a sign, she writes, "What's your name?" Levi shakes his head. "Names aren't allowed here." Drasa frowns, then scrawls another message. "Today is my birthday. I'll do whatever I want." She starts dancing, teasing Levi to tell her his favorite dance move. Levi, caught off guard, admits he doesn't know how to dance. "Then what do you know?" she asks. "I know how to shoot." Intrigued, Drasa challenges him. She sets up a bottle in her room and dares Levi to hit it. With one shot, he shatters it. Impressed, Drasa does the same, breaking a bottle in Levi's tower. But just as they're enjoying their game, Drasa sees something horrifying: a monstrous creature climbing Levi's tower. Without hesitation, she fires, alerting Levi just in time. As the creatures swarm, Levi joins in, both of them unloading round after round. But Drasa, focused on Levi's tower, doesn't see the one sneaking up behind her. At the last second, Levi snipes it down, saving her life. When morning comes, Drasa smiles at him. "That was the best birthday of my life." Levi laughs. And just like that, a friendship is born. A risky reunion. As time passes, their bond deepens. They play chess, communicate through hand signals, and find ways to entertain each other. But February 14th looms, a day Drasa dreads. She sends Levi a message: "This is the hardest day of my life. I wish someone was with me." Levi doesn't hesitate. Using spare parts, he builds a zipline system to cross the gorge. After securing a rope with a rocket, he tightens his harness and prepares to go to her. Before departing, he leaves her a note. "How about dinner together tonight?" Drasa is stunned. When Levi arrives, exhausted from the journey, she welcomes him with flowers. They share a meal, and she finally opens up, telling him about her father and the promise he made. To distract her, Levi shares his own past, speaking of his family's military legacy. As the night goes on, they dance together, lost in the moment. But morning brings disaster. As Levi attempts to return to the East Tower, his rope collides with a hidden mine. The explosion severs the wire, sending him plummeting into the gorge. Without thinking, Drasa grabs parachutes and weapons, and jumps after him. Into the unknown. They plunge into a world of nightmares. The gorge is not just a chasm, it is alive, pulsating with eerie yellow light. Levi, caught in a tree, is attacked by a monstrous, multi-legged creature. He shoots it down, but the impact causes him to fall, straight into the grasp of another beast. As it wraps around him, its fangs sink into his body, draining his strength. Just before it consumes him, Drasa arrives, her bullets ripping through the monster's tentacles, freeing him. But their ordeal is far from over. More creatures emerge, grotesque hybrids, twisted combinations of animals and humans. Among them are horrifying centaur-like figures, their riders half-human, half-tree. Armed only with their rifles, Drasa and Levi fight their way forward, desperately searching for an escape. But deeper into the gorge, the toxic yellow fog shifts to an unnatural blue, revealing a hidden facility. What they find there will change everything they know about the war, the monsters, and the truth behind their mission. Escape into the unknown. Danger surrounded them from all sides. Desperate for refuge, Drasa and Levi rushed into an abandoned church. But safety was an illusion. Inside, giant spiders lurked in the shadows, only these weren't ordinary spiders. Their faces were human, twisted in grotesque expressions, their teeth jagged and deadly. Without warning, they leapt at Levi and Drasa. Both reacted instantly, firing shot after shot, blasting the creatures apart. Without wasting another second, they bolted from the church, only to stumble into yet another perilous place, a long-forgotten laboratory. The room was littered with decayed equipment, rusted monitors, and a single DVD sitting atop a dusty console. Curious, Levi inserted it into an old player. The screen flickered to life. A doctor's face appeared. His voice was eerily calm as he explained the nature of the experiment that had doomed this place. "We sought to create superhumans, enhanced soldiers capable of extraordinary feats. But the experiment went wrong. Instead of strengthening human DNA, we contaminated it. Human genes fused with animals, plants, even insects." The footage cut to disturbing visuals, trees growing human limbs, creatures crawling with mismatched body parts, monstrous hybrids that defied logic. The mutation spread beyond control. Trees began developing internal organs. Insects absorbed human consciousness. "We have created something we cannot destroy." Levi clenched his jaw as he dug further into the lab's archives. A highly advanced computer still had functioning files. After hacking into it, the final piece of the puzzle fell into place. A secret organization was behind all of this, not Russia, not the US, but a private entity led by Miss Barthow. She had stationed snipers like Levi and Drasa on the east and west towers not to guard a border, but to ensure that no creature escaped from the gorge. Every soldier posted there was unknowingly part of a cover-up. Even worse, Levi discovered files detailing a deadly missile, capable of erasing everything within a 4-kilometer radius. That was why the senior officer had warned him. If the siren ever sounds, run 4 kilometers without stopping. The missile wasn't meant to defend against an enemy nation, it was meant to wipe out evidence of the experiment. It all made sense now. Miss Barthow had sacrificed countless soldiers to keep the truth buried. Captured by the nightmare. Realizing they had to escape immediately, Levi and Drasa prepared to leave. But before they could, a swarm of grotesque creatures surrounded them, dropping a bag filled with weapons in front of them. A trap? Maybe. But they had no choice. They needed their guns. The moment Drasa reached for the bag, something wrapped around her legs and dragged her away, pulling her into the red zone. The air here was thick with red dust, the ground pulsating like something alive. Levi chased after her, but soon lost sight of her in the eerie, shifting landscape. Drasa found herself hanging upside down, ensnared by vines. The creature holding her was once human, a scientist from the failed experiment. His body had fused with tree roots, his face barely recognizable. His name was B. Shaw. As he examined her, he muttered, "New DNA. You haven't changed yet. But soon, you will." Drasa realized he believed she would mutate within 5 days. But she wasn't going to let that happen. With sheer force, she broke free and grabbed a sharp object, stabbing him repeatedly. But the creature was unstoppable. "I breathe like a human. I absorb air like a tree. You cannot kill me." Before he could finish her off, a gunshot rang out. Levi had arrived. He set the creature's roots on fire, burning him until nothing remained. Now, they had only one goal: to get out. The final escape. Their path was blocked by a horrific web of human and plant DNA, a pulsating network of flesh and vines, organs embedded in its fibers. They had to risk it. Carefully, they stepped into the tangled mass, moving slowly. But just as they were making progress, Drasa stepped on the wrong spot. The web came alive. A creature resembling a human-plant hybrid lunged at her. Before it could strike, Levi yanked Drasa away and set the entire web ablaze. Finally, they reached an abandoned vehicle, a gift from fate. They drove through the blue zone, then the yellow zone, fighting off more monstrous attackers. Along the way, Drasa found a rope system, their way back up. But the motorized gadget meant to pull them was broken. Thinking fast, Drasa tied the rope to the jeep. As they ascended, creatures swarmed beneath them, clawing their way up. Levi and Drasa fought relentlessly, shooting nonstop. Then Levi made a brilliant move. He opened the jeep's fuel tank, letting gasoline rain down on the creatures. As soon as they reached the top, he ignited the fuel, setting the entire horde ablaze. They were finally out. The endgame. Now that they knew the truth, there was no way they could continue this false mission. Drasa confided in Levi about a hidden refuge in France, a place where no one could find them. But before escaping, they needed to erase all traces of the experiment. Levi devised a plan. 1. He would return to the East Tower and plant a time bomb, ensuring all records were destroyed. 2. He would activate the missile, wiping the entire gorge from existence. But just as he reached the tower, Miss Barthow contacted him. She knew. "Did you activate the computers below?" Levi lied. "No. I never went down." But Miss Barthow wasn't fooled. She knew they had discovered the truth. She ordered their execution. Levi's final shot. As dawn broke, Drasa and Levi prepared to escape for good. But before Levi could activate the bomb, Miss Barthow arrived in a helicopter, with an army. Levi knew he had only one shot. He slowed his breath, aimed his rifle across kilometers, and fired at the missile's trigger mechanism. The explosion was immediate. A massive fireball consumed the gorge, destroying everything below. Levi ran for his life. Drasa, also fleeing, looked back. And saw Levi engulfed in the blast. He fell. Into the flames. Into the water. And was gone. A new beginning. The gorge was obliterated. The secret died with it. Drasa, though saved, didn't return to the world immediately. She waited 5 days, making sure no virus had infected her. When she remained unchanged, she left for France, where she started a new life as a waitress, hiding from her past. But one day, while working, a familiar face appeared. A note was slipped to her. "Do you serve rabbit pie?" It was Levi. Drasa's heart stopped. She ran to him, tears in her eyes, and hugged him with everything she had. And with that, their story, their survival, their reunion, their love, was complete. The movie ends. Thanks for watching.